Hello, this is the Egan Art House Adult Drawing Box. I'm Shelly, and in this video we are going to be talking about how to add some natural drawings or some drawings of natural things into our illustrated map. So we're going to go through this worksheet. So all you'll need is this worksheet, something to draw with, and some paper. Let's get started. So depending on where your map is going to be, you might not use any of these, you might use all of these. Kind of just depends on your location. Now you can see we have rocks, trees, grass, and we touch on water at the bottom. The main thing that I wanted to talk about with this one would be the trees, because I know that can have some multi-step things that maybe it's a little bit more unclear of how to get it started. So let's start with just the basic branches. Now the key I have here is to start with a few, not too many. I think that's really a key when you're drawing these, to not overwhelm your drawing with too many branches. So when I am drawing a tree, let's start with just the base, the trunk really. And I always kind of start with two branches going off to the side. Getting that basic shape. And it's very organic, does not have to be the same or perfect by any means, but you need a starting point. So you have that trunk and then a couple branches to get you going. From there, I'll just kind of slowly build and add on a few. So I'm going to just have some coming off the end there. I'm going to add another one coming out of the middle. Sometimes they look maybe a little bit too much, have maybe too much thickness to them. And in that case, I would just try to thin them out just a little bit more, like the branches there. I think it's okay for these ones kind of coming out of the base of the trunk, because those would be thicker, but as you get to the ones that are a little bit more on the edge, I would definitely try to keep it a little bit thinner. All right, let's see. I think we're almost there. Okay. All right. So once you've built your tree, you can either leave it bare, or you can start to add in some different types of leaves. Now this is obviously more of a kind of a typical leaf tree. I do know on your roll landscape there might be some other examples of non-leaf trees like evergreens to take a look at. But for this, you can have loose wavy lines. Maybe you want to break it more up into kind of shapes, or the tight scribble. I'd say my favorite is the tight scribble, just because it's a little fun to do. There's not too much you can go wrong there. So I'm literally just gonna scribble, but we want to kind of keep it the shape of a tree. So I'm gonna have it come up and around a little bit. It's okay if it's a little outside it. And then it's even good to add kind of some of those clusters of those leaves coming over the branches. Gives it a little depth. So again, tight scribble is as it sounds. You just scribble. For the shape one, again, kind of a loose line. I think it's important, don't overthink this. You can definitely tell in your lines if you're overthinking it. They don't look as confident. So if you're gonna do just some shapes here, some shaped leaves, you could even maybe add a little extra lines in there if you needed to. Be confident with that line you put down, and it's going to speak confidence back to you. If you're constantly reworking or changing a line, that's how it's going to read. Now the kind of the loose wavy lines, again, it's not as tight as that scribble. Sometimes you maybe have peaks of light coming through that you can put in there. I kind of just combined all three of those trees onto one. And then you can always add some shading into that trunk with some hatching or cross hatching. But I would encourage you with this to draw with a pen. Since you're just sketching a little bit, it'll help kind of make your lines a little bit more confident, give you just a little bit more, makes you think just a little bit more, I should say, before you put that line down, because you know you're not going to be able to change that. So there's kind of that brief overview with the trees. Similar with the rocks, again, it's just that confident line of making an organic shape. That's the key thing with the nature here. Don't overthink it, just get it on the paper so that it has that natural feel to it. Not something that's been worked and reworked and reworked. You want to keep it natural, because these are natural. So go ahead and give this a try. Again, I encourage you to try it with pen to build that confidence, and then you can move on to adding those things to your vinyl.